All right, here's a perfect example of how the media lies by structure, lies by being willfully ignorant. And this article comes from the left-wing Popular Mechanics magazine, and the author, I checked his tweets. Sure enough, he's a never-Trumper. So lying by structure is when you have a headline that is false or deceptive. They attempt to rewrite history with their headline, but then far deep down in the structure of the written article or TV news presentation or whatever it may be, they finally tell the truth or casually, discreetly give you the relevant facts that debunk everything that they were previously telling you in the article. And this is done purposely because they know that most people just read headlines or maybe a paragraph or two. And if so, the reader gets deceived. So on several occasions, Trump spoke about the F-35 planes being invisible, meaning invisible to radar. That's what the military uses to detect planes, not binoculars, okay? Anyone with half a brain knows that he's talking about radar invisibility. The notion that Trump thinks that the U.S. military has planes that are literally invisible is patently absurd. But the media loves to be willfully ignorant or willfully scratching their heads in order to portray Trump as an idiot. So here's this Popular Mechanics headline playing right into the false media narrative. And it goes on to cite some of Trump's quotes, totally stealth, you can't see it. Unless you live under a rock, you know that stealth is a term that is synonymous with radar evasion. Also note how Trump is just repeating what an Air Force pilot told him. Why isn't the media haranguing Air Force pilots and calling them idiots? Another quote, like an invisible plane. So it's not actually invisible to the eye, but invisible to radar. Yes. The enemy cannot see it even if it's right next to it. So they're saying that even in close proximity, like in dogfights or sneaking up on a plane, it evades radar, which is great, huge advantage. So after duping readers over the first 3 quarters of this article, here's where some truth finally comes into play. He writes, "It's extremely doubtful that Trump thinks the plane is invisible to the naked eye." You don't say. And if it's extremely doubtful, why did you pretend the opposite? Why did you even write this article? Trump is most likely using shorthand. You don't say. He didn't say radar because everybody knows what he's talking about when he says invisible or stealth. The most obvious possibilities. So this author is still scratching his head. These journalists are just unbelievable, just propagandists.